Even though Dokkan has been out longer than Legends, there's still a few cards that Legends has that Dokkan doesn't, and those cards could be a pretty cool addition to Dokkan, so let's go over them. The first one is the What If Goku and Bardock LF card. This could be such a cool card in Dokkan, like a reversible exchange Goku and Bardock with like a Dokkan original Goku and Bardock active skill attack. Bro, that would be so fire. They could even make them go Super Saiyan on that active skill. Like, it would just be so cool. That would genuinely be like the perfect unit to headline like a future Saiyan Day celebration. We then obviously have the Legends original characters, more specifically Shallot and Giblet. Now that Shallot is a playable character in Sparking Zero, it's only a matter of time before he comes to Dokkan. Like, I'm sure this will happen at some point in time. And it could even happen this year, like literally. Since now that Heroes isn't in 10 anymore, there's a slot open in November, and I think they'll use it for other crossover collabs. Like, what are they going to do with Divers? Super Saiyan God Goku? Like, let's be real, there's nothing they can do with Divers as of now, so it wouldn't be too crazy to think that they'll use that slot for some sort of crossover unit, either from Sparking Zero, like a Super Saiyan Namek Vegeta or Gohan Black, or they could use it for Shallot. But I prefer if they wait, because I think it would be very interesting if Shallot came with a new transformation mechanic, like a unit that has multiple transformations, and each transformation has like a different condition. For example, Shallot could transform into Super Saiyan 3 Shallot if you have 3 Super Saiyan 3 characters on your team, or into Super Saiyan God Shallot if you have 5 God Key characters on your team. And like in Super Saiyan 3, he could be like an offensive juggernaut, and in Super Saiyan God, he could be some sort of tank or like utility unit. That would be pretty interesting. But knowing Legends and Dokkan, they are probably just going to drop him in base with like no transformations. Or like best case scenario, he'll be like a Transforming Goku, where he goes through all of his transformations turn by turn. Like, that could also be fine. Either way, we need Shallot in Dokkan. And after getting Shallot, the next step would be to get Giblet, and eventually a Shallot and Giblet combo card that fuses into Shallot. I know it's crazy to wish for something like that when Legends still doesn't have that card as like a playable unit, but you can't argue that this wouldn't be cool. And that fusion is like the closest thing we have to a Super Saiyan God Gogeta. Like, bro, that fusion is just so cool. I would love to see that in Dokkan. But yeah, like I said, this might be asking for too much. Now, this is something so simple, and I have no idea how Dokkan hasn't done that yet. Like, this is just crazy. But standalone LR fusions. Like, bro, this game has been up for 10 years now, and the only LR standalone fusions we have in game are the 5th year anniversary fusions. And guess which celebration made the most amount of money in the whole game's history? Yeah, the 5th year anniversary. And it wasn't even close. Are they allergic to money? Like, Legends already has Ultra Super Vegito, Vegito Blue, Super Gogeta, and Gogeta Blue. Hell, they even have an Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta as standalone units. Like, transformations are cool and all, but I would like to be able to use like a super ultra broken Super Vegito turn 1 every once in a while. Like, I get it, that hiding them behind transformations makes them special and also more OP. Like, Tech Super Vegito would have never been that good if he was a standalone unit. Like, this would have been just too ridiculous, like, obviously, but it's because they give Super Vegito the most broken mechanic in the game, so it's not really fair. But they could still release like a standalone Super Gogeta or like Vegito Blue, and they could generally be like good units without completely breaking the game. So yeah, we need the fusions as standalone LRs. Still on the topic of fusions, I know for a fact that this will come to Dokkan at some point, but it's not for now. And it's a tag Blue Goku and Vegeta that fused into Gogeta Blue. That was like one of the hypest releases ever in Legends, from what I've heard. So this is definitely going to be very hype in Dokkan. Like, you already know they are going to cook with those animations and the OSTs. I can only begin to imagine what sort of OST they'll cook for that active skill transformation. But yeah, like, we need that in Dokkan. Now, this is also something that will definitely happen at some point, like a tags percent for Goku and Vegeta unit. In Legends, they don't fuse into Super Saiyan for Gogeta, but in Dokkan, they'll almost definitely will. And honestly, even if they don't, this could still be a very cool unit. Like, their active skills could generally just be the 10 times Kamehameha for Goku and the final shine attack for Vegeta. Like, I know this would disappoint almost like everyone, since everyone would be expecting like a Super Saiyan for Gogeta active skill transformation, just like we were expecting a Kefla fusion for the tag Kel and Killflag card. But look, either way, a tag Super Saiyan for Goku and Vegeta would be cool to have. Another tag unit that Legends has that I would love to see in Dokkan is a tag Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta and Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. Like, the card could start as a Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku that stacks attack and is like an offensive juggernaut, and then the Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta part of the card could be like a very good defensive unit that doesn't need any sort of like build up, and with some sort of like built-in crit chance. Like, no matter how they do the card, I know the card will at least look cool, but I can definitely see them shafting a card like that, especially with how they handle handled like the first iteration of that card, like they definitely weren't bad, but they weren't anything like absolutely crazy either. Not what you would expect from like a Super Saiyan Blue Kaikan Goku and Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta card. Like you just hear the name of that card and you expect something absolutely like broken beyond belief, as you should. So yeah, we need that, obviously. Now this is more of like a personal preference. As you guys know, I'm like a huge Future Saga fan, and Legends did such a good job with the Legends Limited Future Gohan and Kid Trunks that I'm sure Dokkan could drop an even better version. Like imagine Attack Future Gohan and Trunks, and it has like a double revive animation. Like if Gohan dies, you revive into a Super Saiyan Trunks, and if Trunks dies, you revive into like a Dokkan original Super Saiyan Gohan. Okay, I might be dreaming too much here, but you can tell me that this wouldn't be hype as hell. I would swipe so hard for that. But obviously, just a Future Gohan that revives into Super Saiyan Trunks would be good enough. Like, I would be happy with just that. That scene is probably single-handedly one of my favorite scenes in Z. Like, at least in my top 5. So having it in Dokkan with a banger OST and fire animations would just be so cool. There's also the obvious Daima cards. Daima Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Ultra Vegeta 1. These are definitely coming at some point, either for like the global anniversary or the 11th year anniversary. But yeah, they're coming. Also, we need a standalone Orange Piccolo card. Like, how is this still not a thing in Dokkan? Like, they dropped Orange Piccolo once as a giant form transformation, then I guess as a unit super attack for Beast, but none of these appearances were actually like playable units. Like, we need a standalone Orange Piccolo, either as a regular Dokkan Fest TUR, or honestly even as a Dokkan Fest LR. He could pair pretty well with Beast Gohan. Honestly, I could see him being like one of the 12th year anniversary headliners, since Beast will easy that anniversary, and he'll need a good Piccolo unit to be paired with. Crazy to think that Beast will easy in like 2 years. But that's just like absolutely crazy. Talking about anniversaries, the second part of the Legend 7th year anniversary brought a very interesting card, like a Nappa unit that can summon Saibamens, and he can use them to fight as like decoys, but like those decoys are actually like playable units. Like this would be so interesting in Dokkan. Like Nappa could summon a Saibamen either via like an active skill or like standby skill. They could be like a playable unit, literally like with like their own super attacks and like stats and like passives and everything. And like once they die, you just like reverse back to Nappa. Like you don't even revive. It could be like a new decoy mechanic, something that could happen like mid-fight, like mid-attack. If they die, like you reverse back to Nappa like mid-attack, literally. Like between the while you're taking attacks, you reverse back to Nappa if the Saibaman like dies, or like the Saibaman could only be able to take like a couple of hits, and like after that you reverse back to Nappa. And I know in Legends he can summon up to 2 Saibamens if I'm not mistaken, so they could introduce this as like a reversible standby skill mechanic that can be activated up to 2 times in battle. I know this sounds just like ultra broken. Like being invincible for like even 1 hit is already pretty strong, so multiple hits might be like a little bit too much, but I'm sure they'll find like some way to balance it, and it could just be like a very fun unit. There's also the Tien and Chaozu revive card. Like in Dokkan, this could just be like a Tien and Chaozu card that exchanges into like Tien via like an active skill attack where Chaozu like sacrifices himself. I'm sure this could be like a very like emotional card. Like they absolutely cooked with like Prime Battle Tien's OSTs, so I can only imagine how crazy the OST for like this card could be. Like I'm sure that they could cook something crazy for that. Now this is it for today's video. If you haven't seen it yet, here's the video where I covered Dokkan cards that Legends needs, and if I missed any cards from Dragon Ball Legends that you think we should have in Dokkan, leave them in the comments down below. I would love to hear them, but until then, take care. Peace.